And last but certainly not least, let's finally talk about that Kendrick Lamar performance from last night's Super Bowls,
Right,
right? So I don't know about you, Ricardo, but I watched it live.
right. I didn't see it live. I caught it later.
Okay, I had to wait till the last what 2 3 minutes of the first half of the match ended because
Right.
it's American football, so they always had to stretch that shit out, and it
Yeah.
was stretched
Yeah.
out, right? So the show itself, the halftime show, I think started probably like around 9:30 or thereabout, right? But yeah, point is, saw it live and I really enjoyed it, right? Here's the
Yeah.
thing, right? And this is what we're gonna dive into, right? So this is not gonna be an analysis of everything that went down and all the deeper meanings behind the performance and the
No, yeah, nothing
visuals.
like that.
No,
Yeah,
no, it's not like that, right? Uh, what I want to talk about, right? So right after the performance took place, right? I went on X, right? So like this is one of the rare times of the year that I go on X, right? I would say the other time I was go just to see what people say is during the Oscars, right? Because that's where I actually put out actual tweets, right? So shocking, right? And I saw a couple of YouTubers that I follow, right, who have X accounts, right, basically saying, "Oh, this is one of the worst halftime shows you've ever seen." I'm like, really?
okay.
Okay. But then I thought about it, over the night, right? And then in the morning I woke up. So, and even like if you were to do a Google search, you'll see, oh, some people are saying this is one of the worst performances ever, blah, 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 right? But I actually rewatched the performance, right? And I think I understand why people were saying this, right? So in the process, we'll talk about the show itself, right? I think the real reason why people see this is what it was is because of their expectations. Of course,
Right.
everybody' expectations were high the moment we heard, Kendrick was doing this thing. I think it was like, some months ago, right? Last year, right? People expectations were high over the roof, right? And then especially, and this is a point I'm gonna come back to in a bit. Not like us winning the Grammy for best record of the year, best song of the year, right? Those two things are a big deal. I'll bring this up later, right? So, of course, people expectations were high, right? Even if they didn't know much about Kendrick's catalog, the whole idea that, oh, this song not like us, this Drake, this song, okay, he gonna perform this, right? I love how Kendrick played with that in the performance, right? But
Right.
I think for many people, right, who see it as what it was, right? I think what they were expecting was something akin to what we got last year with Usher, where it's
Right.
just
The
a
hits.
quick, yeah, all the hits, just a 50-minute playlist of all the greatest hits, right? So I would admit, I was expecting to hear all right. I didn't hear all right.
Me
I was
too.
like, all right, okay,
Yeah.
all right, then play, okay, no problem. 'Cause at the end of the day, is Kendrick's decision. He picked the set list, fine, no
I,
problem,
I,
right?
I, I, I myself was surprised that we got that many tracks from GNX itself.
You're
Uh,
right. That's the thing, right? Yeah, that was
yeah.
really interesting too, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
because you heard Peekaboo, you heard oh gosh, what was he? Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Well, you heard Squabble Up. Well, I mean,
All
Squabble
up.
Up is
Yeah.
a single, right? You heard
Yeah.
Luther, right? But what was
Yeah.
interesting about Luther and Peekaboo is that those aren't singles. Yes, they
Right.
are highlights on the record. Let me be real here, but they're not singles, right?
Right.
So I think the reason why people will see this performance was bad is because they wanted to hear the hits, they wanted to hear the singles,
Yeah, yeah,
they want to
exactly.
hear
I was surprised.
they want to hear they want to hear swimming pools, they want to
Right.
hear those hits, and there was none of that. But still, I was let down that we didn't hear all right, because
Yeah.
yes, to me that is still like top five as far as its best
Yeah.
songs,
Exactly. Yeah.
so I think that's the reason they wanted another Usher performance where it's just nothing but the hits, nothing but the hits, nothing but the hits, nothing but the hits. That's what they want, right?
And then on top of that, Kendrick is not like that mainstream of a guy, yeah. Like it's still kind of baffling to me, no, not baffling, but like shocking that yeah, that Kendrick make it to the Super Bowl before Drake. Like it's funny, and we get they make a reference to Drake later, which is hilarious. But like it's still kind of shocking. Like oh wow, this guy is he really that mainstream? I was like, well, I love him personally as an artist. I never got the sense that he was super that big now. So like a lot of people with the audience and that, and then on top of that. Well, the actual like thematic nature of the performance, like yeah, you're gonna talk about certain things, but why you mentioned 40 acres and a mule? Like wow, stuff like that. Sam Jackson's character remind me of his character from RoboCop a little bit.
Oh,
With
you know, yeah.
with the Uncle
And,
Sam thing.
yeah, and speaking of him though, I felt like he was going into his Spike Lee character,
Right,
the
right.
character played here. Look, it's a message. I try to tell you all something about what you're to figure it out, right? It's very
Yeah,
Spike Lee esque in the way how he presented himself or whatnot, right? I picked up on that. Very bamboozled. That's the best way I could sum it up. Like,
right, right,
his presence is meant to tell the audience something, right? But it's just something you have to think about, right? But for us, right? Like, so we're not gonna go in depth into the symbolism, all that kind of stuff, right? But yes, there's
right,
a lot of American iconography, just basically
right,
with the red, white, and blue, right? But I love how, because he's from Compton, right? He's from LA. The prominent colors are red and blue, right? So Crip
right.
blood, right? So yes, he was dressed in blue, and McGill Scissor, who showed up near the end, she was all red, right?
Right.
But there's
Yeah.
white performers as well, too, right? And what we mean is just like there was a lot of dancers, right? Dressed out in those colors, right? I think another gripe some people might have with the performance is that not enough guest stars, right? Because I know, like a couple of people I know was referencing, oh, the one with Dre and Snoop and them was much better
Right,
though. But yeah,
right,
because it was Dre, Snoop and them, and he was doing the hits, and they brought some other people
right.
to sing, to rap and sing it
I
and
thought,
stuff,
I
right?
thought, I really thought we'd get like more guests. Like, I actually really I thought Tyler would have become appearance. To be honest.
As
Yeah, go
in
ahead.
as in Tyler the Creator for this performance last
Yeah,
night. For what song?
yeah.
Remind me.
Remember he did his remix of one of, oh gosh, with Kendrick song now.
Oh,
Uh,
oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh.
he
That's
did his take on it. Like, I kind of twist on it.
Hey Now, yeah, yeah. He did
You
his
know,
own
right,
version
right.
of Hey Now, right?
You know,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So I thought we'd
Well,
get
yeah.
more
He
guests.
called it That Guy. Oh my God, look at that
Right.
guy. He did that, right? That would have been interesting if he had showed up for
Yeah.
that, right? But
Right.
that's to touch on the performance itself, right? I do like that. I do like how thematic it was because it's Kendrick. He has to be theatrical with it, especially with the
Yeah.
pitch shifted of the voice, especially like when the girls come. It's like, oh, you want to do it like this? Yeah, I mean that kind of vibe. Now, I like how he do that because that's something he's been doing on his albums for years now, right? I like the simplicity of the backdrops, or I should say the set pieces, if you will, right? For one thing, the X and O stuff, I like that. In particular, what I really, really dug, I have to give mad praise to this, right? Is the street, the artificial street that they create, right? Stretching throughout a huge chunk of the football field itself, right? Okay, yeah, he's taking it to the streets, just like not like us, he's bringing people out these streets to celebrate, right? So I love, like, it's just this long stretch of road, right? And you actually see like street lights and whatnot, right? And yeah, all the dancers just there on the streets and he moving with them as well too. And those sisters come out and do these things. So I like that. So he literally brought these streets, if you will, to the Super Bowl. I thought that was really smart, right? I know that there's a lot of like subtext with the Uncle Sam character that Samuel Jackson plays, right? But I like, even though I don't remember everything that he said, I like that he's playing on the Kendrick performance itself, right? Almost like he's kind of goading him, like, oh, like you need to do it this way because it's Super Bowl and it's about America, man. Like you can't be doing it this soft, Jed. You gotta go a little hard. Now it's a little too hard now. Now you gotta dial it back a little bit. He keep going in there, right? But all through that is just meant to say, and this is like the brilliance of the whole set, right? Is that when you really think about it, right? He is going to perform a diss track, right? A really skating diss track, right? Live at a Super Bowl event, right? Like that is uncanny. That is just weird when you really think about it, right?
Yeah.
That should not happen. So I like that Kendrick just keep playing it like, should I do it? Should I do it? He even allude to, oh, maybe if you perform it, Drake might try to sue him again, right? He do that early on, right? I just kind of sidestepping a little bit, so that's why he bringing Scissor to perform Luther and all these stars, right? Almost like, okay, so Kendrick gonna play it safe, right? You're gonna play it safe. You're gonna have the little duets and stuff. It's like, nope. Right after that, drop Not Like Us, and then, as I expected, he brought the second half of TV off and brought in Mustard.
Yeah.
I just, if another thing I love too, boy, is just the camera work in this though. Just the shots, the blocking, where the camera comes in at just the right time. I love, right? Case in point, when the set begins, right? I think if I'm not mistaken, this is an unreleased song that Kendrick was doing, right? Where he was on top the GNX car, right? I love how the framing is, right? Where it gives the impression there's a whole bunch of dancers coming out of the car. But you know they're coming out from the other side of the car now, but the way how the blocking is,
Look,
it look like they're
at
just
first,
coming
yeah,
out, coming out, coming out, like
yeah,
literally
look
like
like a kind of
clowns
clown
now.
car.
Like clowns,
Yeah,
like a
kind of clown
clown
car
car.
thing. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that
Right,
was great, right? The peekaboo moment, right? There's a blink and a missing moment where Kendrick like look it again with blocking, right? Like he pops from the bottom of the screen to start his verse. I love that.
right.
That just these
Yeah,
clever little edited these camera tricks and whatnot. I thought it was really great, right? But yeah, I love that it ultimately ends on that like us and then close it off with TV off. So of course when them horns come in and when you hear that of course you know I went nuts. It was great with Mustard showing up with the football that was hard. I could
right.
just tell it was just the two of them just like yes, we made it, right? But in particular, one thing I really do admire about the performance too, right, is how they had to work within the limitations of, the NFL does. So of course Kendrick he can't cuss, he can't say pedophile, he can't say this, blah, blah, blah,
Right, right,
right?
right.
So he had to censor himself down. I thought he did a great job with that. He had to skip a few words here or there, but that's understandable because you're performing live, right? And ultimately, I love that it just plays with Kendrick's strengths as a performer, right? We always like to think, like when it comes to Super Bowl performances, right? We have to do the Rihanna thing where she on top of some platform while she pregnant and all that kind of stuff. It's like, no, it's just a street. And these dancers dressed in the American colors or whatnot, flag colors. That's really it, you know what I mean? So for those who were expecting a set of fireworks and marching bands or whatnot, I'm sorry, but that's not what you get here, right? And I admire that, right? I admire the fact that Kendrick had his plan. Well, his team or whatever it is had the plan. They do it their way, right? So they not try to
Right.
emulate Rihanna or Weekend or Usher. They did it their way. He wanted to stand up from everybody else. He make it
Yeah,
a little
this
politically
right.
a little politically driven with the American colors or whatnot. But
Yeah,
that's like just surface level. That's just for you to kind of over like if you just really want to analyze why that's there in the first place or why the okay, so this as a wrap up here, right? So I feel ultimately with the presentation, right? What Kendrick is really saying here, right? Is just like, listen, I am here as as a ambassador of rap music to say this is the height that rap music has reached now. Like hip hop is part of America now. That's why you have that great moment where he's performing Humble. And all the dancers, almost like they do the American flag, right? And he's in the middle there, right? It's almost say like, look, rap is here to stay, it's part of American culture. And just to show how much it's part of its culture, going back down to the Grammys, a diss track aimed at one of the biggest rappers in the world right now, won best rap song. Sorry, best song of the year, best song, best record, and best rap song of the year, basically, right? It won for that in America in 2025. Think about that for a bit, right? So you can't get mad at me for performing this on stage because y'all vote for this. When you really think about it, y'all made this thing popular, though. He dropped the song that Saturday night and it just blew up overnight, We didn't think it was gonna blow up as big as it did. I certainly didn't expect it was gonna be on radio. Despite the very catchy mustard beat, right? I didn't expect to hear this thing on radio, but here we are, right? And it's almost like he celebrated this, but almost in a sort of like an ironic way. And that's why I feel like the Uncle Sam character is there to kind of allude to, like, it's kind of ironic when you think about it, like this even happening, So that's what I love at the very end with TV off. It's just like, yeah, TV off. Like, just turn this off, boom. You just see like the lights go off, you see game over and whatnot, and that's it. That's really it, right? But
yeah,
that
yeah. They
that to
make
me
it.
is the biggest takeaway from it all. It's just
I can see. I
something
can see.
like this
As I say,
actually exists, That's what it is.
yeah, I do understand. I do understand why it get negative kind of thing. Mostly because it's for Kendrick fans. That's the problem. It's not mainstream at all. Um, Another thing is, well, nobody pick up this little piece of drama. Somebody like came on stage. I don't know if you saw this. With that guy with a flag, with a Palestinian flag. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that after the fact though, but I don't think he
Right.
was on stage, like, oh, sorry, on
Okay.
the
Just
field.
the comedy
Or maybe
background.
he was
Right.
close by or something, and then, like, the security was like, nope, and push him away or something. I don't
Yeah. No,
know.
I saw him. I saw him like way on top on the other side. Like, it's okay. So he was on the stage itself. That's also the stuff like that. But yeah, yeah. Again, I think it's a little too insular. That's my only thing with it because I really felt he could have played more of his mainstream stuff, and then do go deep cut with it maybe with some of the early stuff and then do that. But yeah, you get that one. I'll say it's not really a complaint because it's still a good performance. But for me personally, it felt just too many GNX tracks came out. That was it. But that's about it. It's fine.
All right, understood. So as we wrap up here, right? So yeah, this just any thoughts on the presentation itself? Just anything that stood
Yeah,
out to
yeah,
you, songs,
solid outfit. Yeah, no, solid outright. I don't have a problem with any of that. Like, no complaints. As it is just really really solid outright. And I don't know why people say it. I know it's a pretty good performance.
Yeah, and at the moment, as at the time of us recording this, yeah, I mean, this has just been the talk of the town. Right now, it the song itself get a lot of streams on Spotify right now.
What cracked me up is he just smiled to the camera with
Yes,
Cedric.
when you say the
Like,
Cedric moment, yeah, that is going to be the meme for the month, right? Call it right now.
yeah,
That's the meme of the month, right? But yeah, and also I have to mention to the A chain, the
right,
lowercase a. I was like, all right,
yeah,
all right, Kendrick, all right. I wasn't really
yeah.
thinking about it there, but when that like us came in and they dropped the A by the line, I was like, oh, okay, that's what you do. You smart motherfucker, you are like that, right? But yeah, I make the joke. Yeah, I don't know how Drake felt when he saw this live. He probably does do like many people and just watch it after the fact, like on YouTube,
Yeah, I doubt he watched that though. He had just crash out
You
in
know what I mean?
Australia or whatever. So,
Yeah, whatever it is.
that is
I know fun fact, I know he and Party Next Door was supposed to be dropping some Valentine's Day record
right. I saw that. Yeah,
Friday. So I think that he just gonna try to put all this in the review and just move on
yeah,
with his career. I know a
yeah.
lot of people will just
I
listen
heard
to
a
the
rumor.
album just to shit him up online. I don't
Yeah.
know, you know.
Well, I heard of something with him. That he have a. I think both J Cole and 21 Savage will be in Australia. I think so. I heard that is true. So that way they might just push and do that one time. So it's like whatever.
I mean, perform together or something.
Yeah. Well, his tour in Australia. So,
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Well, didn't know that, right? But yeah, as it stands, right? And I should make this clear first as we wrap up here, right? I am no Super Bowl fan. I am no expert or historian when it comes to these halftime shows. I don't even remember much of like say the Jared Jackson one. Sorry, the Justin Timberlake one, except for what
right.
happened with Jared Jackson, for example. But like the three that really the four that stick with me is like the last four that I saw, right? That'll be the Weekend, the one with Dr. Dre and Snoop, this one here, of course, and well, I should say Rihanna to a lesser extent, but I don't remember too much of it to be honest. Even though her performance was really, really solid though, and she did this while pregnant as well too, right? That's really amazing, right? And the Usher one from last year, right? Yeah. But yeah, this one really stands out because of how different it was, right? I really love how it played within Kendrick's strengths, where it's almost as if, right, with all the chorals that people have with this performance, right? If this was on some Grammy stage or some BT stage, nobody will kick up a fuss about it, But it's like, oh, it's the Super Bowl, so everything must be again, it must be fireworks and marching
Yeah. Well,
bands. Like
people
everybody
expected.
always have the bar so high for this though. Like for any halftime show when it comes to Super Bowl, I like, nah,
Right.
just kinda just entertain the people for 50 minutes. That's it, Like do it however
Yeah.
you do it however you want to. That's all. That's what we get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was expecting that's more mainstream stuff. That's it. So that's the
Me
Super
too.
Bowl.
Yeah, yeah.
That's gotta be music that everybody know that, but it had way too much stuff from GNX. That's
Yeah.
no only complaint.
And that in itself, again, not gonna get over analytic with it, right? People could think about it like, oh, those are specifically, to him throwing extra shots at Drake, right? Like the first verse of Peekaboo and all that kind of stuff, right? I don't know, I guess. 'Cause there's that IG live line from people from that song that we was making fun of, right? But yeah, do agree with you. We could have had more mainstream hits there. I like that it was not like this clustered playlist, like how Usher's own was like
Right.
last year. His set was, right? Yes, as much as I enjoyed that performance, it was just like non-stop song, non-stop song, non-stop song. And I know it was gonna end, you know it was gonna end at the year. You know Ludacris is gonna come out, you know Lil Jon is gonna come out, you know it's gonna end the set, right? It was like that, right? But it was clustered, it was all over the place, right? This one, at least Kendrick knew what he wanted to do. He chose the songs. We don't know why, but I guess he did. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, forward to it, like I said, we're not experts when it comes to these things. I'm just thinking about the artists and the presentation. I think forward to it, I thought that it was a solid performance, man. It was really really good. I can't say it is one of the greatest ever because I only remember off the top of my head just 5 performances, including this one here, right? But I was not disappointed by it. But I can imagine, I can understand, I should say, as a wrap up here, I can understand some people who tuned in on Sunday night. I think that's the most important aspect of it, right? People who tuned in last night, expecting again fireworks and marching bands, and they didn't get that. They got something different. They got something slightly politically charged. They got something that, it was more than the performance. It was something. There was like these underlying themes going on, right? But it didn't really require you to overthink it. It was just you having fun with Kendrick and everybody else, and that's really it, right? So after the fact, you can overanalyze however you want to, but it really does not matter, right? Just listen to GNX and it will give you more context into why this
Right.
presentation was what it was, right? But yeah, for what it was, I enjoyed it, man. I felt it lived up to the hype and more. It's just in case of Drake, boy. I just hope that he just kind of scrubs it out of his brain or just try to forget about it and just focus on this
The
album that he dropping on Friday. You know what I mean? And that's it.
yeah, the thing with Drake is that for me, as I say, it's less about it's not so much your reputation, but what you just do to defend it that could damage it. And that is what he would have been fine if he didn't do that lawsuit thing. Like that kill him. That to me is what kill him. Everything else is like you get cooking a debate, fine. Sorry, in a rap feud, fine. But like he crash out around the rap feud is the problem. I was like, all right, why you bringing the law and certified lawyer boy thing? That will kill you. Is them kind of thing there. So you'd be fine. We'd laugh at him, we'd move on like with Pusha T. We get jokes and we'd move on. But that crash out just that law thing kill you, boy. That will kill you. That is what hurt it. But whatever, like we move on. Just drop it and move on.